How is singing Wagner different from singing other dramatic tenor roles? Not in the music, but in the singing of it. Is the vocal technique any different?
It shouldn't be. My teacher told me once something that I've kept many, many years. I said, when will I know I can sing Siegfried? When should I, and when will I know I can sing Siegfried? And he said, well, probably the best thing is when you know that the next morning, after having sung Siegfried, you could go back into the piano and sing Tamino. I am one, I've always said that Wagner should be sung. A lot of people have gotten, in America, used to having Wagner barked a lot, with the emphasis being on the forte and the big noise and the consonants and so forth. And it has warped the sense of taste of what people expect in Wagner singing, I think, a little. I was taught, my teacher felt that way, and working with Wieland Wagner, he felt the same way. He said, what good is a forte if I can't sing a piano? Because in Wagner there are more pianos than there are fortes. So basically, Bel Canto means beautiful singing, and I think it applies to Wagner as to any Italian role. And without sounding vain or arrogant, I do want to brings up a point of my first time that I had sung in Wagner, and I don't think we mentioned this before. I sang Parsifal for my first role, and this very delightful little old lady came to me in the canteen. There was an outdoor canteen at Bayreuth, and during one of the intermissions from the rehearsal, I was sitting there, and she came up and said, Mr. Thomas, I want to introduce myself and ask, where did you study in Italy? And I said, well, a big disappointment I didn't. I have never even been to Italy. At the time I hadn't. And I said, I studied with a German in America. And she said, well, I wonder at that. She said, I just wanted to tell you, you're singing Wagner as an Italian would be taught to sing, and that is the way it should be. And she said, incidentally, my name is Frieda Leider. And I I felt, so honored that this great of one of the greatest of all sopranos in the Wagner forces would have that kind of comment to make. And that's what I tried to do. I never tried for the bombastic type, but and I think it should be. All good singing should be good singing, whether it's Wagner, Puccini, Mozart, or what. And so far as vocal training is concerned, the savior for the voice in anything, I come back to that my teacher said, and that Wieland, is piano singing. In other words, not give up the discipline of learning to sing Lieder and oratorio, and spending a lot of time in a lot of the roles that require a lot of good piano singing. Because the base of the great Wagner singing to me is piano and not forte. And that means that the whole middle voice, perhaps the middle voice is the most important thing, because I spend so much time in those notes from E up through G. If that area of the voice, the middle high range there, the passaggio, which is so difficult for a tenor anyway, those are the notes where 80% of the role is. And to be able to sing piano and healthfully in that range is to me the A and O of learning to sing Wagner.
In fernem Land, unnahbar euren Schritten, liegt eine Burg, die Monsalvat genannt. Ein Licht der ward das Sein der Menschen reinste Pflegen, herab von einer Renne Schar gebracht. Alljährlich naht vom Himmel eine Taube, neu zu stärken seiner Wunderkraft. Es heißt, der Wohl und der selig reinste Glaube erteilt durch ihn sich seine Ritterschaft. Der nun dem Grab zu dienen ist erkoren, den rüstet mit überirdischer Macht. An dem ist jedes bösen Trug verloren, wenn ihn sieht, weicht dem des Todes Nacht. Selbst wer von ihm in ferne Land entsendet, zum Streite für der Tugend Recht ernannt, denn wenn nicht seine Augenkraft entwendet, bleibt als sein Ritter dort unerkannt. So hehre Art doch ist es grales Segen, enthüllt muss des Laienauge fliehen. Des Rittes drum soll's Zweifel nicht hegen, erkennt ihr ihn, dann muss von euch ziehen. Nun hört, wie ich verbotene Frage lohne. Ich zu euch daher gesandt. Meine Vater Parzifal trägt seine Krone. Ein Ritter ich bin Lohengrin genannt.